An interesting story caught our eye over at the Intercept from Li Fang. This is about Wall Street titans financing the Democratic primary challenger to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in her district in Queens. So what you can see here actually is that the Wall Street titans are teaming up right after the Chamber of Commerce and others are saying that they're going to be donating to AOC's opponent here. Now, her opponent is Michelle Caruso-Cabrera. She's a former CNBC contributor who is challenging her and was a registered Republican until a few years ago. Apparently authored a 2010 book saying that an end to Medicare and Social Security, which she called, quote, pyramid schemes. At the time, I thought it was hilarious because, a Chamber of Commerce saying that they're going to back AOC's opponent is basically an in-kind donation to the AOC campaign. Oh, yeah. I was like, why would you even, why would you even make sure you can display this? Li Fang highlighting here, the billionaire co-founder of Capital, donors like Glenn Hutchins and other people who work in the financial industry who are backing AOC's opponent. We just thought it was a funny little...
Very interesting. And Caruso-Cabrera raised $1 million in fundraising in the first quarter, which is a very hefty haul for any congressional candidate, especially one who is challenging an incumbent in a Democratic primary, which, by the way, remember how the Democratic establishment used to freak out about any challengers from the left of their incumbents. But this one, on the other hand, from the right of AOC, who happens to be very outspoken, and in particular happens to be outspoken against business interests and Wall Street interests, that there seem perfectly fine with. We haven't heard any sort of hand-wringing about that particular dynamic. It's interesting, AOC back in November, and this is something that Lee put in his piece, just as a reminder, she said, I wasn't sent here to safeguard and protect profit. I was sent here to safeguard and protect people. Caruso-Cabrera, on the other hand, one of the financial executives who gave her money said, I met Michelle when she was a business reporter, and she is bright and understands the financial markets well. Her opponent does not, in my view.
You couldn't make it up. And I just think this will be another test of, look, if you don't have any actual popular support, then you're just going to look like clowns, because what they're going to do is they're going to spend all this money and they're actually just going to reveal how impotent they are, because this person, running in a district which clearly, went against Joe Crowley for AOC, clearly has a little bit of a direction there. And then you put up somebody who's basically just like that in terms of their business interests and all that. It just looks so blatant that they just don't understand that people are wise to how this money works in politics and how it is. So even if you want to defeat AOC, this is not the way to do it.
There's also an identity like tokenism that they're trying to go for here as well. But also just shows you, look, if you're going to take that like Chamber of Commerce friendly, Wall Street friendly approach, you're not going to have any trouble raising that money. No trouble at all, which is why one of the most important developments in modern politics is the ability of people like AOC, really pioneered by Obama, actually, to start with, and realized in full by Bernie Sanders. The ability to raise grassroots money across the country is such a significant development, because otherwise you don't have a prayer against people like this who are backed by the chamber, backed by all the business interests. They're always going to have so much money to throw at these candidates. At least now there's a little bit of a prayer if you can capture the imagination of grassroots bases
that's
nationwide.
Right. I think it probably is the only way. But we should remember she also had, I think, the largest campaign coffers of any member of Congress, based upon small dollar donations.
Forgot about that.
So it's going to be a great test of those two campaign finance models in this race. We'll keep you guys updated. We'll have more Rising for you after this.